Hi, welcome back to my channel. Sorry I was on hiatus last week. I was at my parents' house in northern Minnesota. I hadn't seen my dad since Christmas and my mom since March, so I spent a week with them, just hanging out, blueberry picking, things like that, getting away from the humidity of Iowa. Today is a stencil and a stamp card, and I'm going to make a slimline card. I'm going to start with a piece of paper, and this is 3 6/16 by 8 6/16. And my slimline card is 3.5 by 8.5. So there'll just be a very small edge around the outside of white. I'm also going to use today the circle simple blends from Brutus Monroe, but I'm just going to use the circle part. And I've already attached it with some pixie spray, and I'm going to put it down actually a little lower. I made this card once earlier, but I decided I'm going to make it just a little different. And then I'm going to use this stencil. It's called, excuse me, 1 minute. I don't remember exactly this one is called for sure. I will put it down in the details because I don't remember exactly. It was a stencil of the month from last year, but it is available separately since the subscription has been. But I am going to use this. It kind of looks like swirls, like candy swirl, peppermint swirls. So I'm just going to put this down. This also has pixie spray on it already, and I'm going to put it down so it covers most of my card. And I want to overlap my circle because I'm going to leave some white space. And then I'm going to actually threw my blending brush across the room earlier by mistake. I'm going to use some red ink to create my card and a blending brush. This is Cherry Pop ink from Tailored Expressions, and the blending brush is from them as well. And I'm just going to load that up, and I'm going to carefully I always make sure I'm careful when I do this because even though it's delicate and I've used pixie spray, I just always like to make sure that it's down really well because of the little details here so it doesn't move. However, you know, if it does and there's some movement and a little bit of a mistake or mar in there, I always just kind of figure it's part of the process. This is a homemade card. I can try and fix it and, you know, later on if I need to. I'm going to go ahead and go over all. I would like this to be a little bit of a deeper red, so that's why I tend to hold my brushes. I've said this before, I think in other videos, up by the head because I can get more control. And just go in circles, making sure I get all the covers. And then there's a little spot right here on this side that I'm just going to try to use the tip of my brush to cover because I want the circle. So I'm just going to do that a little bit. And then there's a spot right here I noticed that I haven't quite got, so that the circle's a little bit more. And that's just because there's just tiny little bits of the stencil that are overlapping a little bit. And then because it's a Christmas card, we like sparkle. I'm using the very last of my bottle of Sheer Shimmer Craft Spray in the Frost. I had the sparkle, but I'm not sure where I put it. So I'm just going to use the Frost. And I just kind of spray it over the top where I've already inked. And I just grab my towel. And I like to wipe my stencil off before I remove it. And then I'm going to take this up and we'll reveal. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the sparkle on camera, but you definitely can see it. There's just a little bit of a silver sparkle. And then I like to wipe my mat off a little bit because even though this is a card panel, it doesn't matter what it looks like underneath, just to kind of prevent any really bad accidental moving over and getting it on other parts. So now I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to overlay it. And I might actually overlay it a little bit so that I get, I'm going to overlay it just a little bit here so that I don't get, I cover up that spot that I already colored. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink the rest. You could probably do this in a couple different colors if you really wanted to. I'm just doing like a green because it would look like the green peppermint candies that you can get as well. I really like the red with this one, so I decided just to keep it. I'm going kind of super simple. Basically just making a layered card panel. And one reason I like to do layered card panels instead of just right on the card base is so that if I don't get perfectly clean, that the back side of my cards are clean. All right, so that didn't take very long. And then once again, I'll move my ink off to the side here, excuse me. I'm gonna use my shimmer mist spray and spray it on. I like to spray a lot because I like shimmer. And then, because even if it oversprayed over here, because I still have that simple blend on there, it's not gonna be on my card. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pull my stencil off, and I'll clean this later. And then I'm also going to wipe my base. Actually, I'm gonna spray some water down quick, just to pull up some of that extra ink. And then I'm gonna very carefully, make sure my fingers are clean, pull off my simple blend and leave that off to the side. Sometimes I'm heavy-handed with my pixie spray, so there is a little bit of glue from my overspray, from my heaviness of my pixie spray. So I just use my adhesive eraser and just kind of go in and wipe that all clean and get that nice and white. So this is my background. And then, and it's, I can see it's very sparkly. So now I'm going to take my Misty, and I'm going to apologize if I shine you because of my overhead light. I will try to do this quickly so you don't get too much of a shine. I'm going to stick this in my Misty, and I'm using Gina K Designs stamp set this time. It's called Dashing. It's a Christmas, and I'm using the reindeer in the Merry Christmas. And I'm going to set my reindeer down in the circle. And then I've got my Merry Christmas. Got it set right there. And excuse my head. I'm just going to see if it's lined up the way I like it. I might move this down just a hair. Okay. All right. I want to make sure my background's nice and adhesive free. All right, stuck in my corner. All right, so one of my favorite black inks is the Raven Detail ink from Brutus Monroe. I've used this before. I've also just re-inked it because I noticed it was a little dry. I left the cover off of it one night, partially off of it, and it needed a little extra ink. So I may have to stamp this multiple times because my table is very, it's a fold-out table. So I don't always feel like I get the best coverage the first time because it's kind of the table gives. So I will have to ink this a few times. I apologize if I am out of camera for inking. And then I just ink it up as many times as I feel like it is. You know, it gives it kind of a woodland look, but I am trying to get a little bit more of a solid look. So make sure my ink is nice and dark. And I think I'm just going to do one more because I really would like that deer to be super solid. And that's all I'm going to do for this for now. I will kind of wipe my stamp off, but I will clean it later when I take it out of my Misty. So there is my background. Very simple, very easy, one layer card, basically. You know, it's not on the card base, but it just has one layer of matte. And then I'm just going to use some liquid glue to attach. I like liquid glue, especially when you're doing something with a very fine border. because I can have a little bit wiggle room. All right. Put my liquid glue back up in my thing and grab my card base. Like I said, we're just gonna quick put this down and arrange it so there's just a little bit of an equal border for everything. And then to finish it off, I have some Majestic confetti mix from Studio Katia. Just grabbed whatever I had on my bag. I just wanted some more shimmer. And I'm going to add some dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That looks like maybe enough. Some random, I did try to do like a triangle. And then I'm just going to quick pick them up. Oop, I like to have the flat side down. That's my personal preference. There's just a little bit of a lip on these, and I like to have the flat side down. And a little glue on my stick. And one here, and one more small one. We'll put it right there. So I got a little bit of a triangle here, a little bit of a triangle here, a little bit of a triangle here, also odd numbers. And that does it for my card. I may stamp a sentiment on the inside. I'm looking at maybe this wishing you joy and wonder this holiday season. And maybe this small little deer, but I haven't decided yet. So I like to leave my cards blank until I actually get ready to send them out or put them on for sale. So that way I know what I like in the middle in case I want it for something special. So I hope you enjoyed today's stencil and a stamp card, and Merry Christmas in July. Have a great day. Thanks.